Ever wonder why some bags get flagged by TSA for a closer look? From power banks to unusual items, there are several things that could trigger a luggage search. Today, we're breaking down what can get your bag searched, plus what to expect if TSA opens your luggage without you there. Let's get into it. One of the main reasons a bag might get flagged for a search is due to dense items. When items are too dense for the X-ray to scan through, TSA agents can't see what's inside, which could raise concerns. That actually happened with me with an external hard drive. They couldn't see through it because it was just solid. Power banks are also a common culprit. They're often too dense for the X-ray machine to see through, which can lead to a manual inspection. If you're carrying a power bank, pack it in an easily accessible spot in your carry-on in case TSA needs to check it. Carrying a bunch of cables or electronics can also get your bag flagged. A tangled mass of wires looks suspicious on the X-ray, and TSA might want to take a closer look to confirm there's nothing hidden among the cables. Even things like heavy books or stacks of paper can trigger a search. The X-ray machine struggles with solid, dense objects, so if you're carrying lots of paper or reading material, try spreading it out in your bag. Electronics and batteries are a huge reason for TSA searches, especially when they're packed in certain ways or in checked luggage. Lithium batteries are not allowed in checked luggage because of the fire risk. If TSA finds lithium batteries in your checked bag, they're likely to open it and either remove them or transfer them to your carry-on if possible. Items like laptops, gaming consoles, and tablets often require additional screening in carry-ons. But if you put them in your checked bag, TSA might want to double check what they are. Pack electronics in your carry-on if you can, and be prepared to remove them at security. Even small battery-powered devices like drones or certain camera equipment can prompt a bag search. Make sure these items follow TSA's regulations, and be aware that anything with a battery might get inspected. And speaking of drones, if you're flying to another country, make sure that you can actually bring a drone to that country. There are some countries, Cuba is an example of one, where they will not let you bring a drone into their country. And in the case of Cuba, they will basically take your drone at security, give you a receipt for it, and then when you leave, they'll give it back to you. So it's not a big deal, but you're worried the whole week that you're there whether you're really gonna get it back or not. And that actually happened to us when we were filming Places to Go. And we actually had to hire a drone pilot while we were in Cuba for that episode. Odd shapes can confuse the X-ray machine and trigger a closer look as well. TSA agents are trained to spot items that don't fit the usual shape or structure. Food items, especially dense or organic, certain foods like blocks of cheese, peanut butter, or jars of sauces are too dense for the X-ray. If you're carrying food, be prepared for a possible search or consider packing it in a clear plastic bag to make inspection easier. Personal items like razors, scissors, or even tweezers can look odd on an X-ray. If you're bringing sharp objects, double check TSA's guidelines on what's allowed and consider placing them in clear bags for easier identification. If you're bringing home unusual souvenirs like sculptures, figurines, or anything with odd shapes, TSA might need to inspect them. Unusual items can look suspicious on the X-ray, so be prepared for extra scrutiny if you're carrying anything out of the ordinary. Some items are either restricted or outright prohibited, and having them in your bag can automatically prompt a search. The 3-1-1 rule for liquids means anything over 3.4 ounces, that's 100 milliliters, has to go in checked luggage. If TSA spots a large bottle of shampoo, perfume, or any other liquid in your carry-on, they'll likely open your bag to remove it. And if you're in line to get through security and you don't have the ability to get out of line to go check that bag, you lose it. Items like spray cans, lighters, and certain perfumes can be flagged. Flammable items can't go in checked luggage and might be removed from your carry-on if they're not allowed. Even if you forget, TSA won't. Any prohibited sharp objects like knives or multi-tools in your carry-on will lead to an inspection, and you may have to either discard them or check them if they're allowed in checked baggage. And a quick addition to that, if you go on Amazon, you will see that they have TSA-approved corkscrews, which actually has the corkscrew, but just it's missing the little blade. And so that does work in the US, and that will work, but if you take that in your bag to another country, it won't. Because for some crazy reason, TSA is more concerned about that little tiny blade than they are the corkscrew. And in other countries, they're like, okay, the corkscrew is dangerous too. That's also true with screwdrivers and pliers. Which one do you think that they will not allow? They'll actually allow the screwdriver, but not the pliers. Weird. If TSA decides to open your check bag for a closer look, they'll leave a notice inside to let you know it was inspected. This slip is called a notice of bag inspection and will be placed right on top of your items. Check bags are inspected behind the scenes, so you won't be there if TSA opens it. TSA places the notice to let you know they've gone through your bag and checked for anything suspicious, which is another reason why you don't leave gift cards and cash. To make the process easier, pack your items neatly and consider using packing cubes or clear bags for organization. Avoid locking your bag with anything other than TSA-approved locks, as agents may cut open non-TSA locks if they need to search your luggage. If TSA finds prohibited items in your check bags, they may remove them, especially if they pose a safety risk. To minimize your chances of a TSA search, a little packing strategy goes a long ways. Here are a few final tips. Avoid packing all of your cables in one jumbled mess. Instead, organize them with cable ties or small bags. This makes it easier for TSA to see what's inside and reduces the chance of a manual inspection. Double check TSA's prohibited items list before packing and keep any questionable items in your check bag if possible. Being mindful of TSA's rules will help reduce the risk of a search. TSA rules can change over time, so always check the latest guidelines before packing. Knowing what's allowed will help ensure you're not carrying anything that could raise a red flag. Getting your bag searched isn't the end of the world, but knowing what might trigger a TSA inspection can save you time and hassle. With a little bit of planning and organization, you can breeze through security with confidence. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more travel tips to make your journey smoother.